right, welcome to the Senior Placement Live. Man, I just been into a cough drop. Isn't that weird? Just as soon as it gets started on the show, I'm like, oh, I got something in my mouth. But hey, we got something to say today. I hope you're joining us, talking about senior placement today. The goal of this show every Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, is to bring you information regarding the senior placement industry, kind of behind the scenes, kind of pull back the curtain and let you observe from a standpoint of this show, right? We can't really take you on the tours, can't take you to the communities, but we're going to tell stories, and we're going to tell, some of these stories are going to make you cry. Some of these stories are going to make you laugh. And it's just, that's one of the joyous things about working in this industry is you help seniors at no cost, no obligation. And there's oftentimes people who've never been through this experience before, or maybe they heard about it from someone else, but they've never experienced it, right? Going from where they are, could be a hospital, could be a skilled nursing, could be home, and transitioning into an independent community, assisted living, or memory care. So we're going to get into it just a little bit. And as we do, you're going to see a ticker going across the thing there. And just want to remind everybody, we're not affiliated with Mom's House, and you can read the warning and all that about purchasing the Senior Referral Academy and all that stuff that's out there. But we're going to get into the Senior Placement Live Show. I do have one of my students with me today. Bring Jacqueline on in just a few moments. But I want to go through a couple of different things. Looks like we got Tim in the house too. So my goodness, we're going to have a couple students. So I'm excited they're showing up today. But I want to go through today a little bit about how I get my clients. And 80%, if I would put a number on it, come to me because they've fallen. They fractured something, fractured a hip, whatever it may be. And they go to the hospital, and then they're like, oh my goodness, you need OT. You need physical therapy. You need to go to a rehab center, right? Could be short term, could be 6 weeks, 12 weeks, could be a little bit shorter than that. But they go, and that's usually when I get the information to come along to help them. And so that's 80% of my clients. And I want to encourage you guys, before I bring my students on, when looking for assisted living, I'm going to give you two things I do not want you to do ever. I'm going to repeat this probably every show, but two things I do not want you to do. And then two things I want you to do. I'm going to encourage you to do. So the first thing I do not want you to do is do not look at internet reviews. Okay. It doesn't mean you can't glance at them. Doesn't mean they don't tell a little bit of the story, but internet reviews oftentimes do not tell the whole story. How I know that is I used to work for a large community back in the day, and we had about a 3.4 rating on Google. And this management group got, 50, 60 members of their group up north. They all go on their Gmail and Yahoo accounts and put in some fake bogus reviews about the community. So we basically went from a 3.4 to a 4.3 overnight. So you could get some of that. Plus, on the other side of it, you could get a disgruntled employee, right? Someone just got fired and they didn't appreciate getting fired. They felt like it was not warranted. So they go on the internet and they start putting in bad reviews about the community that's unfounded, right? Oh, they don't take care of the seniors. They don't feed them. They don't ever do anything. And, and that could be a farce as well. So do not look at internet reviews. And then the second thing is do not complete information online. Doesn't mean you can't talk to somebody online, but I would strongly encourage you not to complete information online. Typically what happens is when you do this, you are dealing with a national company. And dealing with a national company, there's a number of them out there. And what happens is you put your information online, could be your loved one or yourself, and then you're immediately going to get a call. You'll get a phone call, which is great, right? Everybody does this kind of sales one-on-one. You get a phone call, but then you're going to talk to this person about 15 minutes or so, give them all the private information of the senior. And then what's going to transpire is you're going to get about 30, 35 different calls from different communities. It becomes a telemarketing game. And I hate this piece because this is the piece that's not really shown. It's not really communicated out there in terms of what people go through when they give out their private information. So you start getting inundated with phone calls, people telling you got the best pool, the best care, the best food, got everything the best, right? And so you have to make a decision like that. So don't complete your information online. And then let me tell you two things I want you to do, and then we'll bring my students on, is I want you to look at state reviews. Now, how do you do that? Now, you might have to ask somebody. You might have to, ask me in the chat, or I might have to ask one of my students, or you kind of figure it out. It's public information, so it's not like, anything that someone can't find. But I want you to look at the state reviews. They're consistent with where the community's at. I see a lot of communities in my area. Many of them are fantastic. No one's perfect, right? We're not looking for perfection, but you're looking for trends. You're looking for communities that are being consistent, right? And so I got this one community in the area. It looks fantastic. It looks like a resort. It's got wooden beams all inside. It's amazing. I love it. But man, over the last 5 years, it's got like 48 citations. That's not good, you guys. So you need to look at that. That's probably something you would not see or hear about on the internet. And finally, contact a local referral agent. That could be me. It could be one of my students, depending on what area you're in. I would encourage you to contact someone local. Usually this individual is going to have obviously some boots on the ground information. They're going to know their market. They'll usually hold your hand through the process. Now I say usually because I know some people do it a little differently, but they're going to be more one-on-one, and they're typically going to keep your information private. So those are the things I want to ask you to do. Again, do not look at internet reviews, or at least don't concentrate them, or at least don't make your ultimate decision based on the internet reviews, and do not complete your information online. But also, we want you to look at state reviews, and we want you to contact a local referral agent. So I'm going to bring my students on board. Here comes Jacqueline. Jacqueline, welcome to the Senior Placement Show. Jacqueline is down south in California. I'm in Central California. So Jacqueline lives in a much better area than I'll ever live. I love Central California, but Jacqueline, come on, let's be real. Southern California is where you want to be.
You can't. I have no complaints. It's a beautiful, gorgeous, almost, 70 degrees right now. So.
Oh, gorgeous. I love it. I love it. Well, Jacqueline, tell me a little about your business. Tell me a little about just seniors in general. I got some stories I want to get into as well in terms of just helping people understand this business. But it's such a joy to work with seniors. So
it is. It is. Yeah. So I discovered my passion for seniors, much like you. I worked for a CCRC, or a life plan community, and I started at an entry level. I was like the moving coordinator, but I had always, I had my degree in marketing. I did event planning for trade shows, and it wasn't until I worked at a community where I found my purpose and my passion helping people, but helping seniors in particular. There's I don't know, there's nothing like it. And I just knew when I started there that this was the place for me. So for me, I eventually worked my way up into director of sales. And there's nothing like it, because you get just such a sense of, gratification when you're helping seniors, when you're helping their adult children, making this transition. It's very emotional. It's a big decision. Sometimes they're selling their homes that they've been in for years and years and years, and they're getting rid of a lot of things that are so meaningful. And I just have that heart, and I just love helping people through that part as well.
That's awesome. I tell you, you mentioned the adult kids. I seem to talk to the adult kids probably 95% of the time.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, it's just amazing, guys. So, adult kids, I'm 55. Some of you guys are out there 55, 60 in that range, and you're the adult kid, and you're going to be responsible in helping your mom or dad get to the next level. I tell my students, I look at it as graduation, not decline. I realize physically it's decline, and we're all declining, right? I mean, I'm getting to the age now, Jacqueline. I tell you, when I drop something, at least when I did when I was in my 20s and 30s, I'd go ahead and pick it up right away. Now I'm kind of the age, if I drop something, I look down and go, is it really that important to lean down and pick it up? I don't know. If it's not that important.
Choose your battles. Choose your battles.
Right. So, but tell me a little bit, Jacqueline, about your business down south. Tell us where you are. Anybody on this show that is down in your area, I would love for them to connect with you. And because Jacqueline is amazing. I really appreciate her personally, but she's going to go the extra mile. I just know her personality type and just who she is. And she's just a wonderfully committed individual. So tell us a little about your business, Jacqueline.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, I have to give you a thank you, because being a part of your group and your training gave me the foundation. So even though I have experience in the industry, being in your training gives you the information and really just the confidence that you need to go and do this. So you're like my security blanket, the other parts that I didn't know about the business. So I
Yeah.
felt really prepared. But for me, and thank you, I started Halo Senior Living Services here in
Oh, I
San
love that
Diego.
name. Say it again. Halo Senior Services.
Halo,
I
Halo.
love it. I love it. Where'd you come
Yeah.
up with the name Halo? Tell me. Come on.
You know what? To be really honest, just like you, I'm a believer. I don't push my beliefs on anybody, but if you ask me, I'll tell you about it. So,
Absolutely. Come
for
on.
me, for me, having your own business, you can really, when you work for someone, you have to follow their, rules and their culture. So for me, I thought that I'm at a point in my life where I want to be, more open with my faith and my beliefs. So I thought
Yeah.
Halo is a perfect, easy way,
Oh,
to kind of convey what I'm about. So doing business with me, whether you're a partner or whether you're a senior or, adult child, you can know that I am in it. I have a heart. I'm of course trustworthy, but I have everybody's best interest at the center of everything. And then a little bit different about me is for every placement that I do, I give, what I would call tithe or a donation to
come on.
local senior companies, nonprofits that support the seniors here in my area.
Oh, that's a great idea,
And
Jacqueline.
I love that I'm able to do that. So I serve all the way from the border, so south, the most southern point of San Diego, all the way up to what we call here northern San Diego, or like the Temecula area.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I tell you, you have to put in the chat your contact information if you like. I love for people to be able to reach out to you. And I love all my students, and I just, they all come with different personality types, and they just seemingly, it's hard to say 100% because it's not like we have several hundred seniors. Seniors, oh my goodness, we have several hundred seniors. I've helped several hundred seniors, but we have several hundred students in the senior home business community. And if it's not 100%, I tell you what, it's 99.9% of all my students that just genuinely love seniors. They consider themselves an advocate for seniors. They're in it for the right reason. And if you're out there looking for your mom or your dad, and you're looking for that local referral agent, please select somebody that is a person of empathy. They should be a person that's hearing you and listening to your story and understanding next steps. So they come to you with a place of empathy and hearing your story and putting the senior first, but they also have competence. They also have an understanding of the industry and what to do next. So next steps are huge. So hang on, Jacqueline, hang on with us. I'm going to bring in Teresa. Teresa is here. Hey, Teresa, how are you doing?
I'm better. I came back from New York 2 weeks ago and got the flu, and so I have been
Oh,
out for the count until this morning. So
yeah.
much better. I'm up and vertical, feeling good, hit the ground.
It's great to be vertical, isn't it? Oh,
It
my
is.
goodness. That's good. Well, Teresa, tell us where you are and a little bit about what you do.
So I am in Southern California. I pretty much work from Los Angeles east to Redlands along the 10. And by formal education, I'm a CPA. I've been a CPA for 30 years.
Nice.
I got my real estate license in 2018 and really started working with probates and trusts, and met a lot of families. I was oftentimes working with them after someone had passed away, but oftentimes with the trust. Maybe the husband had passed away and mom was now living by herself. Family was concerned about mom's ability to stay in the home
Mm,
uh, all by herself when people generally didn't live here anymore. And
yeah.
so that got me interested in looking for what options might be available and how could I help them with those transitions. So that was my introduction into the senior placement and Matt meeting you. And so I'm just now starting on my journey really of
Oh,
adding this to my business practice
thank
and
you for
seeing
doing
how I
your
can
homework.
help those
Yeah.
people.
Well, thank you so much, Teresa, what you're doing. I really appreciate your heart. And I tell you guys, Dad is a type of individual. The two you see on the screen today, that's the type of individual you want to help your mom or your dad. And guys, I still remember my first client. Some of you guys have already heard the story, probably if you've been with me for a number of years, but you'll just never forget your first client. At least I won't. It was 2018. My wife and I decided to do this business. I used to work for a large community, as I was saying earlier, and we decided to go all in. And so we did, and we got our first client, and she was a lady that was living in a mobile home park by herself, no immediate family nearby. She had dementia. I didn't know at the time what form of dementia, but the family that her nearest kin was in Arizona, and they flew out to take care of her, and they got a hold of me. And I remember being over in the mobile home house with the resident and their family and my wife, and we got talking all about what we can do. And I was about as green as you can be in this business, you guys, because this was my first client, right? So I'm going through the contact form. I'm going through some abbreviated version of the questionnaire, and we're asking different things and getting answers. And the lady finally goes, the resident goes, well, and she called me Sonny. So she goes, well, Sonny, I need to pay you. So can you tell me how much I need to pay you? And I was like, oh, no, ma'am. This is a free service, no obligation, doesn't cost you a dime. But thank you so much. We do get paid. We get paid on the back end. So we're okay, but you don't pay us anything. So we went and talked for about 5 more minutes, and she came right back with the Sonny comment again, and the Sonny question. And Sonny, I need to pay you. How much can I pay you? And I was like, no, ma'am, that's okay. We don't need, money from you. And so I went on talking more to the adult kids. As she exited stage left. She went to the kitchen. I didn't know where she was going at the time. But then, you guys, what she did was, such a sweetheart of a lady, she ends up bringing back a plate of chocolate chip cookies and says, if you cannot take money, you're going to take one of my chocolate chip cookies. And I said, you know what, ma'am, I'm a big fan of chocolate chip cookies, so I would be glad and honored to have one of your chocolate chip cookies. This lady went on to a standalone memory care, received pictures later, ended up doing several tours thereafter, seeing her, socializing with the other residents, and just in being a safe place. It just warms your heart, you guys. And I'm telling you, I'll never forget that whole story. It's my first client back in 2018, doing the business by myself, and it just kind of warms your heart. So, man. So we got some chat going on. Let's see. Okay, Jacqueline's got out there. Tim has got something. It's a great place. You're really a good big serving the purpose. Okay, good job, Tim. Tim, if you want to hop on, buddy, you have to be on video, but I'd love to have you on if you want to hop on. You guys have a story you want to tell? If not, I got a couple more I'm going to tell, but I just want to make sure you guys got something you want to say. Is there a story you guys want to talk about?
I'll talk about someone that I'm working with right now. He is all by himself. He's on the younger side. He's not 70 yet, but he is bedbound, and he lost his wife, who was his world. And so he's been just really lonely, pretty much bedbound. But also, of course, we talk about this all the time, right? In our groups, like not many people say, yeah, sign me up. I'm going to move to a community, right? So of course he was naturally like resistant. But as we talked more about it, he became more open, and he talked about how he would have the ability to, see people. People could come and see him more easily, and get that social aspect that he's really, really craving. So we'll be making a move probably next month, because his house is, like you were saying, Teresa, it's in probate, and it's for sale. So, working with that time frame. But it just warms my heart. I'm just so excited for him to have that quality of life, and the friendships and the social opportunities and activities. Because right now he's just, really on his own, and he has like a caregiver that he sees a little bit, who comes to help him, which she's amazing. But we all are social creatures, and we need people, even if we're introverted. And like me, I love people, but I'm a natural introvert. But like I
never knew that about you, Jacqueline. Seriously.
You're
an introvert. You really got a lot better, I tell you.
But people need people. And so I am just so excited to help him. I am just so excited for him, like I said, to get that quality of life that he's so craving.
Yeah, yeah. I tell
I
you
have a
what.
quick question on his probate. Do you know, is it, you may or may not know this answer,
I
if
probably don't
that
know, but go
probate
ahead.
is, well, if it's under full authority or limited authority?
That part I don't know.
Okay.
I am not.
It limited authority, it may take longer for the house to sell because the court is more involved. If you have any questions, I'll put my number in there and we can chat.
Yeah, please do. That'd be great.
Sure.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Awesome, you guys. Man, I love that. There's a story I want to tell you guys because Jacqueline hit a little bit on the socialization part of it. And you guys, if you're looking for your mom or dad out there, you could be looking at a large community or you can be looking at a smaller community, which we call 6 beds residential care homes. And there's other ones too, like 16 bed, 24 bed, 32 bed. There's kind of mid-sized communities as well. So there's some advantages and disadvantages of doing all that. We won't get into that right now, but you guys, I remember the story of this gentleman. He lived in a trailer because by choice. His son was up in the Sacramento area. Wonderful individual. Gave dad just about everything he needed. Dad was living on retirement, but he just loved where he was living because he was actually living in a trailer, but also kind of doing some sort of security for some kind of little small business, so they kind of employed him a little bit. So he did a little bit of that. Well, unfortunately, like I said earlier, you guys, most of my clients come because they fall, and he ended up falling, and he didn't need assisted living. He needed more independence. He got better, but it took him a long time to kind of make that decision. I say a long time, 2 or 3 months to go by because the gentleman, the resident, was just, he was just, hey, get me back to my trailer, get back to my job, get back to what I was doing. His son finally convinced him to go into a great independent community in our area. It was amazing, and he was kicking and screaming. And all during the time he was in his trailer, he would call his son 2 or 3 times a day. And then when he finally made the transition after some kicking and screaming, because I'm telling you guys, seniors typically do not like moving. I'm 55, I'm in the business, and I can tell you when I become of age to go to assisted living, because I know what my kids are going to do, all 4 of them are going to put me in the car, take me for ice cream, and drop me off somewhere. I'm just kidding. But that's probably what's going to happen, right? So, and I'm going to be the one that's kicking and screaming. No one wants to go into an assisted living or retirement. You think that's kind of the end of your life, right? And so this guy, of course, was kicking and screaming, doing it. He's going independent. He finally makes his way there. Now, granted, he was calling his son 2 or 3 times a day. After about a week or 2, he was at the independent community. His son stopped hearing from him. And his son got worried. What's up with dad? So he waited a couple more days. He called him. Dad, yeah. What is it, son? How can I help you? Well, I haven't heard from you. Oh yeah. And he pulled, evidently he had this little index card in his pocket up here, and he pulled it out, and he would have all these activities he was going to. Well, son, I've really got to hurry up because at 2:00, I've got to go over here to Wii Bowling. I never liked that thing. Didn't think I'd ever like it, but I love it. Got some really good people I'm hanging out with. And then, son, I just got finished lunch, so I need to go. And he had this list of what he was doing and why he couldn't call his son. And
I love that.
isn't it cool? It's like he's so acclimated to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh my gosh. And so, and this individual obviously was a guy that was kicking and screaming, which I believe a lot of seniors will be kicking and screaming. Now, I just placed someone a few days ago, and this lady is not kicking and screaming. She's 87 years old and just a wonderful individual. I say that because I actually talked to her on the phone. She's down south, you guys. She's actually making the move up here. But let me tell you, can I tell you a real quick love story that she told me? This will give you goosebumps.
I love love, please.
Oh, this will give you goosebumps. This lady's 87 years old. When I talked to her on the phone, the family said, yeah, please call her. So I did. And when she answered, I got ready to ask, and I won't say her name just for privacy reasons, but I got ready to ask if she was there. Like I thought somebody else answered the phone. She's 87. It sounds like she's 47. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And she goes, I know. I sound like I'm really, really young. She goes, but I'm not. I've got all kinds of problems, but I'm getting better. And she went on and on telling me this whole stuff. But here's her love story. She was a nun for 18 years. Okay.
Whoa.
And then she got married. So I don't know. She was a nun, but then she got married. And then she married, and she was married, I think she said 47 years. I'm not sure if that math computes, but I think she said like 47 years she was married. I know it was 40 something. So she got married, and then through the end of the time of her marriage, her husband became sick, and then he ended up passing. He passed right in front of her with a group of people. And so she tells me this story. This will give you goosebumps, you guys. You ready? So this is what happened. This is what she told me. And I totally believe her because she was so passionate about it. She goes, and this is my love story. We were so in love with each other, Matt, because I was a nun, but I got married. I love him. He loved me. He passed right in front of me. And I just was in shock that he passed. I knew it was happening, but she goes, I just leaned over and I gave him the biggest kiss. It was a kiss goodbye. And then I leaned back up. He woke up, gave me a kiss, another one, and he went back to sleep. Oh, like, man,
okay. I don't want to cry.
Was that true love or what? It's like, man, he just had. And so she's still today. She just told me a few days ago, like over the weekend. She just said, "Hey," she goes, "That's my love story." She goes, "I know he loved me. I know how much I loved him." She goes, "But I've got that story the rest of my life now. How long I'm living, I have no idea. But I know he woke up to give me a kiss goodbye."
That's the
just no, anyway. I was like, "Oh man, it's awesome, awesome." All right. You guys want to say anything else? Say anything else before we go? I want to keep this about a half an hour every Monday, but we're going to be telling stories of senior living, assisted living, memory care. And the goal is I want it to be beneficial for the general public out there. A lot of people are going to be watching. Some people watching live right now, and some people will be watching the recorded version. And I just want you to get some information and a glimpse into assisted living, memory care, and what to expect. And so we're going to hit those two things that you do not do, right? Every time we get on. So again, do not look at internet reviews. Do not complete information online. Oh man, guys, people out there say that out loud. And then what you want to do is look at state reviews. You can get a local senior referral placement agent to help you out with that. But all the state reviews, you guys, is public information. You know, I talk sometimes like it's private, but it's not as public. But if you might need some help finding it, it's a little difficult at times. And then you also, again, you want to contact a local senior referral agent because they're the ones that are just going to know the market. They're going to hold your hand through the process and all that. So you see Teresa today and Jacqueline, and I've got many more students in the senior home business. If you want to join a group, just a group of people who are passionate about seniors, there's no charge. It's the groups for free. Now, the courses and all that are not for free. I'm not trying to mislead you in that regard, but the group is free. If you just want to jot down into the description, get down there and hit the link. You can join the group, and it's obviously for free. If you know more about the senior referral business, you can hit another link down below and schedule a consultation with me. I'll be happy to tell you all about the senior referral business and how exciting it is in my life and how it's been a great ride, you guys. And I say great ride, I'm still going, but since 2018, and a lot of businesses today within the first year kind of falter, and definitely by 3 years, they just start falling by the wayside. I got an individual that was a discharge planner in my area about a year and a half ago. She called me and she goes, "Matt, guess what? I'm not going to be giving you more leads." And I'm thinking, what did I do? Oh my gosh. And she goes, "Oh no, you didn't do anything." She goes, "I'm going to become what you are. I'm going to become a referral agent. I'm going to be making the big bucks." I went, okay, I get it. And she goes, "You know what the icing on the cake is?" I said, "What's that?" She goes, "I don't even need your academy. I don't need to pay you a dime. I got this." I said, "Okay, all right, let's go. Fast forward a year later, she's out of business. Ouch. Oh, God bless her. She's a wonderful individual. But it's just knowing the process, you guys, and knowing how to do this business, lead gen, there's a lot of different things. But I would say the biggest component in closing, you guys, in this business is being just what Teresa and Jacqueline are, a person of empathy. I mean, if you have some sales, that really helps. I've got some sales in my background, but more importantly, it's just a person that's very empathetic, listening to a senior and their family, their story, helping them navigate through a very difficult time in their life. And if you just get in this business, I talk to people, you guys. I talked to one just yesterday and this morning that have been in the business, still trying to get a lead, still trying to get their business off the ground, been doing it for almost a year now. And anyway, I talked to him, but the one guy I did talk to, he just kind of came across like he's just like, I know what to do. I'm good at sales. I'm get people, and I'm going to. And that is just kind of the opposite, I think. I mean, I mean, for me, it's more customer service oriented. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have those connections and be able to make that connection and have a heart to serve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, Jacqueline, Teresa, thank you so much for joining me today. If you guys want to join me every Monday, you're more than welcome. I'd love to have you on the show. And look down in the description for their contact information. If you're in their area, I would love for you to reach out to them. They're two wonderful individuals that would be willing to help your mom, your dad go through a process that they may not even experienced before or heard about. And it's a very trying time. The process, you guys, the general public is out there. It's not complicated, but it can be if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know the questions to ask and you don't know the right places to go. And the one thing I'll leave you with, these communities are not all the same. I mean, sometimes people think they are, right? They think because they all have beds, they all have caregivers, they all have food, they all have probably activities, they all have an executive director. They're all the same. And Jacqueline, they're not, are they?
No, they're so different.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, I appreciate it. God bless. And we will see you next Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Bye,
Have a
everybody.
good week. Bye.